Good morning, boys and girls. So today we're going to be working on Unit 6, Lesson 10. What I'd like you to do is go ahead and open up your books to page 341. We're not really going to be taking a look at anything new. We're going to be pulling together all that we've learned, applying what we know to be good practices in math to help us do our best when subtracting from three-digit numbers, such as what you see on this page. The hardest challenge for anybody in subtraction is what to do when they find a zero in a number at the top. It's where most people make their mistakes. It's where kids, especially at your age, want to go in a different direction because it simply makes it easier to do. But as we have already discovered, whenever you have a zero at the top, you don't just go the other direction because you're no longer subtracting. So wherever you see a zero is going to be a place you're going to focus your extra attention on. That way you know that if you see that zero, there's something you have to do to be able to help yourself subtract. Now, what am I talking about? I'm talking about that word that you see right here highlighted, ungroup. Whenever you see a zero, you know you're going to have an automatic ungroup if that zero appears at the top in a subtraction problem. So it's really easy to spot. Other places you might also have to ungroup if the number at the top in your subtraction problem is smaller than the one that is below it. So let's take a look at this first problem. 508 minus 346. I'm not going to do any subtraction, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to answer these two questions right off the bat. That'll help me to focus my attention when changing and ungrouping to show my work before I can even do the subtraction. So what do? I take a look at the ones. 8 minus 6. 8 is larger than 6, so I know that I do not need to ungroup. The simple answers are going to be the ones that are going to come with some simple thinking. Do I need to ungroup to get 10 more ones? No, I have enough to subtract. Now, even if this was a 6 over a 6, it'd be fine, because if it's the same number or larger, you don't need to ungroup. Do I need to ungroup to get 10 tens? Well, let's go to the tens. Can I subtract nothing and subtract 4? No. So I would answer, yes, I need these 10 tens. So I'm going to go ahead and automatically get myself those 10 tens. But there's no magic. It's not changing a 0 to 10. It's an ungroup. So I'm going to go to my hundreds and I'm going to ungroup right away. Keep in mind, friends, whenever I'm doing this, there is a reason for it. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to go off to the side and I'm going to draw my picture. Here is my 500. I wish I could draw better on my computer when it comes to this, but this is about as good as it gets for me. So then we have our 8 ones. We have no 10s because in 508 there's none. Well, what do? We're going to ungroup, and when we ungroup, we are going to get those 10 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's see if we can make that one a little longer. There we go. So this is the change that happens. I have 4 hundreds now, I have 10 tens, and I still have my 8 ones. Then I can go ahead and do my subtraction. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 8 minus 6. If I don't know that, I add 6, count up until I get to 8. I know that's 2. 10 minus 4. If I don't know that answer, I take 4 and add up till I get to 10, which would give me 6. And 4 minus 3 is 1. I'm going to check my work by doing my subtraction over here. I'm going to subtract 6 from my ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Leaves me 2 ones. Yeah, I did have that there too. I'm going to subtract 4 of my tens. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Leaving 5, 6 tens left. There's 6 in the tens here. And I'm going to subtract 3 hundreds. 1, 2, 3. Leave me 100 left. And that's what I had here. So I think I have 162. Let me count it out to double check. 100, 150, 160, 161, 162. When I do my subtraction, I do need to focus on where do I need to ungroup. If I see a 0 at the top and a number that is not a 0 at the bottom, I automatically know I will need to ungroup to get more for that place. Let's do one more together before you work on your independent practice today. So I'm going to look at my top number, 500. I see a 0 in the tens and a 0 in the ones. Friends, right away, this means I'm going to need to ungroup. I'm going to talk about the directions here. They said if you need to ungroup, draw a magnifying glass. No, that's just not necessary. It's also a waste of time. So as I look and focus, I see 2 zeros. So I can tell you there's a 0 in the ones place right away. Yes, I'm going to need 10 ones. I see a 0 in the tens place. Yes, I'm going to need 10 tens. So I'm going to do my ungrouping. But before I do, I'm going to draw my number of 500. Here it is. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. I'm going to have to ungroup one of these, which becomes 4. I'm going to make my change right away over here. I know that I have 10 tens from one of those 100s that I'm ungrouping. So what do I have here? I have 10 tens and 4 hundreds. I have 4 hundreds. I'm going to make my corresponding change for my 10 tens. Let me go back and subtract again. I can't. I said, yes, I need more tens here. So how do I do it? I'm going to ungroup one of my tens to give myself 10 ones, just like this. Going back to my picture, I have 4 hundreds. Yes, I had 10 tens, but now I have 9. I'm going to make that corresponding change, showing my ungrouping. Now I have 9 tens. I had no ones. Now I have 10 ones. I'm going to show my corresponding change for my ungrouping. So here it is. I needed to get 10 ones. I needed to get 10 tens, which later became 9, so I could get my 10 ones. And of course, there's an ungroup in the 100. Now I can subtract. Boys and girls, I'm going to subtract starting over here in the hundreds because it really doesn't matter where you start. Once your ungrouping is finished, you can subtract in any place value and you'll get the same answer. I'm going to show you here with 4 minus 3 is 1. I'll go over here and subtract 3, leaves me with 1. I'm going to go here to the tens. 9 minus 0, no change. No change there. Still have 9 tens. 10 minus 6 is 4. Here's my proof. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm left with 4. I say the answer is 194. Let me check it. 100, 150, 160, 170, 180, 190, 191, 192, 193, 194. So as I am working, I need to make sure I look for any time I need to ungroup. That will help me to make sure I know that I do my ungrouping. These questions at the bottom will help you guide you before you do any other work. Please make sure that you are working on problems number 3 and 4. Have that checked over by an adult. Then go ahead and work on the very next page, page 342. Please go to the bottom of your page right now and please cross off everything for the add and subtract within 100 as well as your check understanding. At the top of your page in the green, please write do 4 or more. Once you have 4 or more finished, you may go ahead and have those checked and then go on to your form today to show me what you've learned and what you've precisionally done to be able to subtract for numbers with zeros at the top.